What up, 12s? This is Norb-Cam from Norb-Cam. This is the bye week for the Seahawks, so it's kind of a bummer that we don't have a game to look forward to this weekend. But that's okay, because we're coming off of that huge win over the Broncos, the Super Bowl rematch, and I think that game was such a great win. It's nice to soak that in for 2 weeks worth, you know what I'm saying? So it's okay, it's okay. Plus, I've got more Norb-Cam for you to keep you entertained for this weekend. Hopefully I'll kill some time until our Monday night game against the Redskins coming up. But before we move on to the next game, let's soak in what was last week, and it was an amazing game against the Broncos. Now, it was a close game. You look at the final score, we only beat them by 6. We did have to go to overtime, but Peyton Manning did do an amazing job coming back from 2 touchdowns down to tie the game up. But make no mistake, Seattle dominated that game for like 95% of that game. We were dominating that game, and it took perfect combinations of things for Seattle to do wrong in order to give Peyton Manning just enough window to come back. So it wasn't, I don't think it was as close as a game as, ended up really being, but that's kind of how football is, those little things happen, and, good teams take advantage of them. But it could have been so easily avoided, and I say that because we go back to the third quarter, and we were up by 2 touchdowns, and Stephen Hauschka misses a 46-yard field goal, which 99% of the time he makes. I mean, he's almost perfect from that range, and he just flat out missed it. He makes that field goal, and it becomes a 3-score game, and we're not even talking about overtime. We're just talking about the Seahawks running out the clock at the end of regulation. And so, on the one hand, it's exciting that we had such a nail-biter, and to come out on top. But again, just the field goal alone would have changed that game, and that was just us not making the play. Okay, it wasn't like Broncos did something amazing. We just flat out missed it. So there, that's one point that shouldn't have been that close. Secondly, the safety. Yes, the Broncos did make the tackle in the end zone and the sack to set that up. But if you back up one play before the safety, we had a false start by Russell Okung, and that nullified what would have been a pretty huge gain by a pass that was going to be thrown out to the flat to fullback Derek Coleman. He took that, and he had open spaces. He would have been at least to the 10-yard line. He easily would have gotten a first down. But because of the false start, self-inflicted, Denver didn't do anything to cause that. We just, again, self-inflicted problems resulted in that nullifying the play and then the safety afterwards. So again, 2 things that right there would have changed, which were significant scoring plays. That's the 3 points from the field goal, 2 points from the safety, and the Broncos getting the ball back. So again, those are two things that changes that game, changes the score. And then the interception. Now, granted, Keep Talib made a great play on the ball to pick it off, but Wilson knows he shouldn't have thrown that ball. It was a big mistake on his end. Very atypical, very not conventional type of thing that Russell would do, which then led to the touchdown. Again, another huge one. So anyway, point being is that all these, those 3 things alone right there all resulted in points for the Broncos, and were all key for them to barely get back into that game. If any one of those 3 things don't happen, they're out of it. So anyway, it wasn't as close as it as a final score showed. So just want to state that right away, because for those of you listening to CBS or pro Broncos fans out there, you can feel pretty good about yourself that you got back into the game and got to be that close. But that for the first 57 minutes of that game and without those plays, not going to be that close. So anyway, it was still a good game. What's more annoying is the fact that we did win the game, and I was happy about that. But what has kind of started getting on my nerves, and normally I'm a Peyton Manning fan. I shouldn't say fan, but I don't mind. I like Peyton Manning. He's funny. I like his commercials. You know, he's done some fantastic stuff. His brother is a whole other story. Never was a fan of Eli Manning at all. I think it's crazy that he's got 2 Super Bowl rings, and his brother, who's 5 times the quarterback he is, only has 1. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. The whole coin toss thing and overtime rule reevaluation, that just annoying, because you know, maybe it was the reporter asking the question of Peyton Manning about, you know, about not getting the ball in overtime. Maybe that's why he brought it up. But the fact that it was even mentioned, how, you know, Peyton Manning talking about overtime, not getting the ball, how it puts the the premium on the coin toss. But yes, what it does is puts a premium on playing defense. Okay, you know, they already changed the rules already from sudden death, what it used to be, which I didn't want to change it in the first place, but I'm kind of a traditionalist that way. But they changed it already to make it a little bit more fair, so that teams have to earn a sudden death win, and which means you got to get a touchdown on your first drive, meaning that the defense of the other team needs to make a stop. Okay, it's not like you flip a coin and you get a touchdown. No, you flip a coin, you got to go 80 yards or whatever in order to get that touchdown. Which means your team's defense needs to go suck it up, make a play or two, and stop that team. And now this whole cry, oh, Peyton Manning never got the ball, so it's not fair, they need to change the rules. I don't remember Denver questioning the rules when they won a sudden death overtime game a couple years ago, when it wasn't Peyton Manning, but it was Tim Tebow. They won a game with sudden death. I don't remember Denver saying, it's too bad the rules aren't more fair, because we really shouldn't have won that, because the other team should have had the ball. Bogus. Oh, and then I was listening to the radio recap of the Broncos radio announcers, and when they lost the coin toss, the radio announcer was actually saying, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And our defense will make a stop. That means Peyton Manning will definitely get a chance to either tie or win this game. That was before he realized that Russell Wilson was going to take us down for 80 yards and win the game and never give you a chance to get the ball back. But apparently at the time, he thought it was a pretty good idea, because like everybody else in the stadium, everyone was feeling like our offense wasn't doing much. And there was, you know, and the Denver defense was making a lot of plays, so they figured, Seattle's not going to be able to take this thing, and we'll get the ball. But that wasn't the case. So again, the rule change didn't seem that important at the time. Anyway, so I think back, you know, we whatever happened to sometimes when you just get beat, just say, you know, they play better than us. You know, sometimes you just got to admit to it. You know, like when we lost to San Diego the other week, we got beat. You know, can't use heat as an excuse. They had to play in it too. You know, they had a good game plan. They made the plays that had to be made. Phillip Rivers threw perfect balls to Antonio Gates, and you just got to give it to him. Just say, we were a step behind. We couldn't quite, you know, do it. We couldn't get the pressure on. We lost the game. We didn't make the drive. We didn't make a comeback drive like we did in this game. We didn't do it against San Diego. We lost. There's no looking for reasons. It's just you weren't as good that day, and the Broncos were not as good that day for most of the game. Then they got close, and then their defense wasn't as good that day, because they couldn't stop us. So just put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right, you lost. Sometimes you get so caught up, Bronco fans, you get so caught up in greatest offense in the world that you can't accept the fact that you might actually lose, or you might actually have a quarterback outperform yours, just because you got a legend on your team and he's got the records for all the best offensive performances, doesn't mean he won't be the best quarterback on a given Sunday that day, because he wasn't. He made plays when it counted, but for the most part, as a whole, he wasn't the best quarterback on the field. Okay, but the whining didn't stop there, okay? Then it continued. There was this whole thing talking about the Earl Thomas hit on Wes Welker, saying, it should have been defenseless receiver. It should have been unnecessary roughness, and they should have gotten the ball there. Should have had the run back count. Sorry guys, the rules state that because he didn't catch the ball and was intercepted, he's not a defenseless receiver, and because Cam Chancellor hadn't come down with the ball and was running with it, it wasn't a illegal block. So at this point, the rules are the rules, and so the no penalty being called was the right call. And to be honest, I loved the hit. I loved the Earl Thomas smackdown on Welker. We need to have, we're legislating so many hits out of the game as it is. It's nice to leave a few in there, those few opportunities that they actually have them. It wasn't a cheap shot. I mean, it was just a good hit. But they'll probably reinvestigate this and change the rules for next year. So next year you can complain about it and get your way. This year, not the case, all right? Now, I'm not going to say the officiating in this game was perfect. Now, there were plenty of questionable calls. There was that one, I'll give you guys the one where in the neutral zone, we were offside, clearly offside. And I don't know how they got talked out of not being offside on us on that 3rd and short. And, don't get it either. I was offside as far as I was concerned too. But there was also that call, which I didn't understand, which was the Thomas fumble where he made the catch, and then I think Chancellor Thomas hit him, dropped the ball after he got 2 feet down, and then we recovered it, and then they overturned it saying it wasn't a completed catch because he didn't get 2 feet down or did do a football move or whatever. I don't know. I didn't get that. I mean, if you look at it with your own eyes, to me, you just watch it. There's times when there's rule interpretations, like the tuck rule. You watch that the New England Patriots Raiders game from way back in 2001 or whatever that was, that snow playoff game that started their run. The tuck rule. I mean, yeah, you read the rule and okay, you can go, okay, I see he tucked the ball and it came out. But you look at it and it's a fumble. To your eye, it's a fumble. And I watched that catch. To me, it was like catch, foot, fumble. It was a fumble. I couldn't believe it. And, but whatever. I mean, they interpreted it that way too. But to me, that was like, those kind of nullify each other because we should have had the ball. You guys should have had another down. But which one was more important? Who knows? But to me, those were 2 calls that I didn't agree with. On both sides. So I'm not just being biased to Seattle, okay? And then the other thing about that's I guess it got a little annoying listening to the broadcast afterwards since I was at the game, watched it later. And then CBS, I understand CBS is kind of an AFC network, so you got Phil Simms and doing color, and I don't know, I heard something about Phil Simms having a bad rap in Denver, so maybe he was being kind to the Denver fans and not getting too hard on the team. But I just got tired of hearing Phil Simms defending and praising Manning up and down the field. No matter what he did, it was a good thing. There were particularly 2 plays where on 3rd and long, Peyton Manning checks down to a draw play, which goes nowhere. And I didn't get it. I was like, what the heck's he doing? Or actually, thank goodness, I'm glad you're doing that. That's good for us, because that's like the worst thing you could do. But even Phil Simms was sitting there going, that's a smart play. That's a good decision by Manning, or the coordinator or whatever. It's like, what? You kidding? This is the best quarterback in the league, Hall of Famer, and you're gonna give credit for check down to a draw play that goes nowhere? If it worked, then you give him credit. Like, ooh, what a brilliant play. They never saw that coming. There's a check down to a draw, basically giving up to a draw play and then getting nothing out of it, and then you're saying that was a good call. Come on, CBS. Come on, Phil Simms. Let's be a little bit more objective in our colored commentary, all right? Anyway, that was a little thing, but annoying. Going back to the overtime, so we did win the coin toss, as you know, and so much was made about how Peyton Manning didn't get the ball. I don't think enough people are talking about the fact that Russell Wilson did get the ball, drove the Hawks down the field in 80 yards for the winning score, and he was superb on that drive, from the passes to the choices he made to run the ball. I mean, he was money on that drive. And, you know, he knew it was time to get the yards. There was no throwing the ball away, and he ran it when he knew if he needed to get 3, he got 4 or 5. When he needed to get 5, he got 6 or 7. I mean, he just was nearly perfect on that drive. And I don't care what anybody says, you know, people still like to give Seattle's credit just to the defense and not really, you know, credit Russell Wilson for what he does, and they just call him a game manager. He doesn't really throw the ball that much, he's, you know, but that was a situation where the ball was in his hands, he took it over, and he won the game for him. All right, so it's about time people start realizing and accepting the fact that Russell Wilson is not just a game-managing quarterback, but he is a great quarterback, and is the reason why Seattle is doing as well as they are. Because as we saw there, the defense did not win the game for us. They won much of the battles earlier, but when it came down to it, you know, they gave up the touchdown, you know, in 40-something seconds, you know, which was a shame that happened, but it happened. But offense got the ball, they took it, and they won the game. So that's what you got to do. It should be noted that in the first 3 games of the season, Russell Wilson is tops in passer rating at 108.9, ahead of Manning. You know, if it wasn't for that interception, it would be a little bit higher, but that's what happened. So anyway, once again, proof that Wilson's doing a hell of a job. So, okay, so some other things we learned from that game. The Broncos' defense is definitely tougher, definitely better this year, which should be. I mean, they acquired plenty of great talent, pass rushers, defensive backs. So, I mean, the offense definitely was challenged throughout the game. It wasn't like last year's Super Bowl where I felt that they were not much of a physical defense. You can definitely see the improvement. So they'll be tough throughout the year for sure. Another thing that I felt like we learned was that at nickel corner, the injuries were definitely stacking up, and we're thin there. And it kind of had a lot to do with some of the plays on that game-tying drive by Manning, because if you recall, we are already thin at nickel corner. We have Burley playing nickel because of the injury to Jeremy Lane, and he got knocked out about halfway through that drive by Chancellor on an incomplete pass. Chancellor creamed Burley, took him out of the game, and then they had to throw Josh Thomas in there, and he wasn't ready. I mean, basically on the next play, they exploited that and hit I forgot to whom, but Peyton Manning made something like 30-yard pass or something. It got it deep into our territory on the next play, right in that area where Thomas got thrown in at. So, you know, we're going to be having to look at that position. Hopefully, we get some shore that up over this bye week. But Lane's not coming back, so we're going to have to make it work. But keep an eye on that in the games to come here. We've all seen it. Byron Maxwell as a corner is getting picked on a lot because they're avoiding throwing to Sherman's side a lot, but we see it just play after play. It seems like Maxwell is just getting picked on a lot. But are you guys concerned about that? At least to be expected. I mean, he's going to get the bulk of the throws, and at least the good thing is he hasn't been beat deep yet in terms of when he's in a one-on-one. So he's keeping everything in front. But you know, with these teams like the Chargers and the Broncos, that's the way they play. Short passes in front, and they got a lot of them. So you know, expect more of the same, because that's not going to change anytime soon. So we'll see how they adjust for that. Another thing you got to credit on that last drive was beast mode. Actually, that game, I mean, beast mode through this season, other than only getting 6 carries in the Chargers game, beast mode has been unbelievable, and he was key also to the Broncos win, and of course got the game-winning touchdown itself. But I go back to all you guys in the off season when we were going through the contract thing with beast mode, and some of you guys were all saying, "Oh, we got Kristen Michael and Robert Turbin, we'll be fine." Nope. we would not be in the same position if Beast Mode was not on the team. And I said that from the get-go. I said it's worth paying this guy some extra money, making it work somehow to keep him on here, because, I'm sorry, these guys can't run like he runs still, even at his age. He doesn't look it. He doesn't look his age. Receiving the ball, running the ball, and then blocking. Did you see that attempt at pass protection by Robert Turbin? It's terrible. You know, got the guy at the edge and he just sort of tries to shove him and led to a sack. Well, we said, you know, that's the big difference. You know, pass receiving and pass blocking is questionable. They run all right, but you know, still not the same as Lynch. But it's those other factors. I think they drop off more than the running itself, and we saw that in right straight up with our own eyes. So anyway, be glad you still got Beast Mode in there. You know, so that's gonna be key. It all starts from there. Russell Okung, happy that he did not have a more significant injury and was able to come back after that shoulder issue he had in the first half. But again, he's still it's frustrating. Again, his false start is what led to that safety. But what else do we do? What else we got? I don't know. I guess when come time to redo his contract, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Are we going to keep him, or are we going to look elsewhere? I mean, but you know, keep him on the field healthy has been a challenge, and he's no Walter Jones. But is there anything better out there, or do we just got to keep working on him and try to hope that he continues to develop? But he makes some of the mistakes that aren't even performance mistakes, false starts, things like that, holding, and just getting beat. It happens a little too often. So I hope that improves. It's got to improve. It's our left tackle, for crying out loud. And on the other side of the line, Justin Britt, also frustrating. Most of the sacks we've seen, including that one of Russell on the 1 yard line, where'd that come from? Britt's side. What about the sack that happened in San Diego? Britt's side. Even with help from Wilson, the tight end on that one, he still got sacked. But he's a rookie. You gotta expect that, you know. It's his first year. He's growing pains. I mean, I guess the good thing to this is that he's learning a lot. You get, you know, rushers like, you know, Denver's got. That's good learning stuff. He's gonna get a lot of experience, so he's gonna develop, and I think by year 2 he's gonna be a lot better than this first year. But expect growing pains. Wilson's gonna have to grow eyes on not just the back of his head, but the side of his head, because it's not just the blind side that he's got to worry about. He's got to worry about the pressure coming off his right side. So hopefully nobody sneaks by and lays a really bad hit on him. That would be horrible. So hopefully those guys can just protect him just a half second longer. Anyway, so that's about it. Those are my takeaways from the game. But most importantly, I'm just glad that we won. It was a great way to go into this bye week feeling this way. Now we can get shored up and get ready for the next game against the Redskins. The Norb-Cam, a lot of you have been asking, where is the Norb-Cam for this game? And I apologize it's taken so long. I did finally just get the Chargers game finished, so that's up there. Not that you guys are excited to see that, but I still recommend that you guys check it out, because I'm co-hosting it with Paul Beyer from 12for12s.com. Here's the link if you want to check it out. Yeah, it wasn't a fun game to relive, but me and Paul have some great insight as a former football player himself. I learned a lot just listening to his commentary while watching the game, and we talk about more than just football. We've gone to other subjects like sci-fi and bad movie sequels and other stuff, so it's worth a check. All right, check it out. It'll still have something fun, even though it wasn't a good game to watch. All right, but the Hawks Broncos game is coming up next. My goal is to have it up by Sunday, by tomorrow, so that you guys will have a football game to look at in lieu of this bye week, having no game today on Sunday. So hopefully I can get that. But it's been busy. Work has been busy, so I've been under a lot of deadlines, so that's why I haven't been able to put as much time into editing these things. But I'm trying to keep it going. So thanks for your patience. I appreciate you guys staying with me. And on that note, in fact, I just wanted to say thank you to you guys who have subscribed to my channel. Hit another milestone here this past week and reached 5,000 subscribers, which is great. Totally stoked, so thank you very much. My goal is to reach 10,000 by the end of the year, and I know it's a lot. That's talking double of what I got, but you know, I feel like it's picking up pace, so you guys can help me spread the word, you know. Tell all your other YouTube friends out there to subscribe. So that's my goal anyway, but either way, I'm just going to continue to keep making videos. The new series, Rivals, hopefully you guys have had a chance to see those. Made 2 so far, and there's more to come. You can check them out here. There's a Rivals number 1, Rivals number 2. But basically, it's just a fun fan hype film to kind of showcase the rivalries between the Seahawks fans and teams that we're going to play. And so far I've done the Packers and the Broncos, and this latest Broncos one. On YouTube, it's done okay. It's up to about 9,000 views currently as of this filming right here. But man, it blew up this past week because of Facebook, and basically our local radio station, sports radio station, KJR, posted it on their Facebook site, and it took off like crazy, and it's up to about 240,000 views on Facebook. So tons of people have been seeing that, and so thank you to KJR Sports Radio for putting that on Facebook for me. But I hope you guys will continue to keep an eye out for the next ones. I've already shot the Cardinals episode. I had a feeling in the off-season that the Cardinals might be a team to contend with, and so far that's the case. They're 3-0, and we're right behind them. So if things continue as they are, we'll see if they do. We may end up in a new rivalry situation. Maybe this will be the rivalry 2014. But either way, I got a great episode in the can of Seahawks Cardinals Rivals. It's going to be cool. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post it closer to the game when we actually play, and that's the NFC West games are so pushed back now. It's not till November, but you guys will like it. It's pretty fun. So we are going to do a 49ers one, of course. Have to do a 49ers one. So that's going to be fun to do. But unfortunately, there's not enough time to do every single game. A lot of people ask me, are you going to do every game? It's like, that would be a full-time job trying to do an episode for every single game. So I'm going to do is try to do as many as I can. But I was going to ask you guys, besides the Cardinals and the 49ers, what team would you guys like to see a Rivals episode done on? Let me know. Put it in the comments, and let me know what team you'd like to see of the remaining ones on our schedule. I mean, we play the Eagles, we play the Raiders, we play the Rams, Cowboys. Anyway, I'd like to hear from you guys what you think. Who should be in the next Rivals episode? So, let's see. And yeah, I think that's it. I wanted to, before I sign off here, I wanted to acknowledge these guys, Northwest Motorsport down in Puyallup. From some of you guys who are around town here, you guys have seen their commercials. It's got Jay Buhner on the spot where he does a trucks and more trucks. You know, that's those guys, Northwest Motorsport down in Puyallup. Yeah, they sent me some stuff. They sent me this cool sweatshirt, Under Armour, Northwest Motorsport. Check it. Yeah, these guys are cool. They sell trucks in their huge lot down there, and they got some amazing vehicles. There's a really cool one. Check out this video right here of this 12th man truck that's all decked out in 12s. And if you are into that kind of souped up trucks and stuff, you got to check them out. They also have they got their website, which is nwmsrocks.com. And they also have a YouTube channel, Northwest Motorsport, where you can see this and a bunch of other really cool videos. So click on the link, and if you guys are on the market for a truck, go visit them, check it out, and tell them Norb-Cam sent you. All right, so keep on watching. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, we'll go get the Redskins next week. Redskins are coming off of a pretty bad loss against the Giants. They were pretty beat up. You know, RG3 was already out, but they were pretty beat up, period. So we'll see how this game goes. I'm confident that we will win that game, but and they should, but it's an away game, and you just can't take any win for granted. So Seahawks got to focus and take it one game at a time, as Russell likes to say. All right, that's it. Thanks again, guys. Subscribe, keep watching, like this video, and go Hawks, baby.
Thanks for watching Norb-Cam. For more videos, hit the subscribe button at the top. To watch the Norb-Cam highlights of the Hawks-Chargers game, click the video on the left. To watch Rivals Episode 1, where I beat up this Packer fan named Trevor, click the video in the middle. To watch Rivals Episode 2, where I can this stuck-in-the-80s Broncos fan, click the video on the right. Thanks for watching. Go Hawks!